Hi everybody. Just starting this review on BUDO 55, which took place last Saturday night as a MMA show with also some cage boxing. Um, I'm just going to do this review, and I'm going to do a chat with Di Owen, who's the commentator with me on Saturday night, into the conversation, and then we shall have a chat about it.
Whee!
Oh, there he is eventually. Myself and Di did try and have a chat on Facebook, but we were unsuccessful getting on there. Don't know what we're doing, like a pair of muppets.
You're not the most tech savvy guy in the world, to be honest.
I mean, other people seem to make it really easy, but for some reason I just can't get on there for these
No,
things.
I had a thing saying, "Do you want to join?" They wouldn't let me click it, so I don't really.
Oh
Who
yeah.
knows? But we
Well,
got there in the end.
we're on anyway. We're on Instagram. First time I've ever been live on Instagram, so just another platform to make a fool of myself. Um, yeah, so we're just gonna have a quick chat about Budo 55, just a little half-hour yap about it. I think it was a brilliant show. Really enjoyed it. Really well matched fights. Um, right through from schoolboy or junior MMA fighters, right through to the pros. Right at the end, I think it was 19 contests in the end. So it's a really long card, probably the longest card I've ever commentated on. But enjoyed every minute of it, really.
Yeah, there's not many shows that you get. Originally, it was 21 on the night. One guy didn't turn up, and one guy fell ill in the changing rooms. So originally, it was a 21 fight card, which is absolutely crackers, to be honest. To be able to pull that off and only have, two drop out on the night is testament to Dino's matchmaking and his links with all the other gyms who obviously support the show. So yeah, like you say, it was a great night and some cracking highlights as well.
Okay, let's just talk about the obvious one, get that out of the way. Our reaction to the knockout and your good night, Irene. And what do you want
That
to say about that?
Yeah, well, I've had so many messages about that. People are loving it because I've said it to the boys before. I'm like Joe Rogan if you bought him on Wish. I'm the complete
West
opposite.
Wales Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I'm bald. I like uh, I like that special flower that he likes. I had a podcast. I'm like the opposite. He's a successful, and I'm the not so successful version of
You like
comedy.
A Joe Rogan in an alternative universe.
Yeah, the multiverse Joe Rogan. Um, but yeah, that 10-second knockout. I'm glad. Who was it? What was his name again? Reese
Reese Jones. I think I actually
Reese
said
Jones.
Reese Evans of the night. I think I said, but actually Reese Jones.
Reese Jones. He shared the actual footage of a fight that someone took, so I
Yeah.
got to see the. It was a peach of a right hand as well. Really sharp, short right hand. Knocked the guy out. I think you might have been right at the time. It was about 7 seconds. I don't think it was quite 10 seconds. It was quicker than that, I think.
Yeah, but
But
I counted it back on the video, which had nice comment, James. I watched the video back that you're on about. Yeah, and I think it was about 8 seconds, give or take.
and it was a peach. But
Yeah,
yeah, they seem to like our reaction. It's an authentic. It's an authentic
yeah.
reaction. There's nothing contrived or pre-planned because obviously you can't expect a 8 second knockout in the night. But yeah, I've had family members. I've had umpteen messages just laughing. They just love. I think they just love the enthusiasm we showed. To be honest, it was
Because
but it was
normally
good.
on those shows, if people watch back, if they watch the fights when they get put online on I think it's the Budo YouTube channel. I think all the fights will be on eventually.
Yes, yeah.
Um, if they watch them back, we normally have a bit of routine where I introduce the fighters, say who the fighters are, maybe identify their shorts, and then just a little bit, and then we just get into the fight. But it just happened so quickly that we didn't have a chance to even get as far as that.
No, yeah, but I think that's what made it that a little bit special. It was a cracking moment, I think, and I'm glad we got to do it because
Yeah.
people seem to enjoy it. It was good.
Yeah, so I got a list of the fights. So we won't go through them all, just because there's too many. I just want to the first couple of fights, the junior fights. I mean, those youngsters, I mean, maybe 12, 13, but no, they didn't hold back. Really cracking a couple of scraps.
Yeah, it was Lily. You must be bored in the house or something.
Can he go for a run or
Yeah,
something?
he needs to probably the amount he's been eating since he got back. But yeah, like you say, there were two fighters from 2-4 MMA and two fighters from KGB.
Yes,
And
Harley Spiller against Alfie Thomas was the first one, and then Mason Davis against Jay Wilcox was the second contest.
yeah, and honestly, all four outshone themselves. They were tremendous, really, really good. Considering they were say 12, 13-year old, they were well matched. There was no headshots, but the 12, 13-year old to be fighting in front of, I'd say there was easily 1,000 people there. Oh, that
Yeah.
there, right? See that guy over there, Stuart Evans? That's my boss. That is. That's my boss, man. Yeah, boxing's more fun, Stu. But anyway, yeah.
So
So
perhaps you and Stu can go live after this. Tom of Fridges.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
I don't know what
you got four listeners. You're probably making more people with Tom of
I
Fridges.
don't know what I don't know as much about fridges or no, but for them to fight, I'd say there was easily 1,000 people there to come
Yeah.
up and fight in front of 1,000 people and do what they done was, I mean, testament to their coaches and their club, and it was excellent, really, really good. They really done well,
Yeah.
all of them.
And the first senior contest was actually Ash Williams against Carl Watts. I know you know Carl quite well from Swansea, and
Yeah,
Ash Williams trains in my stake now. But that was a really good contest. It wasn't. It was like kept on building round by round.
yeah. Carl sort of come into it towards the end, but I think unfortunately for Carl, as he started coming into it, Ash managed to land a couple of heavy shots, which wobbled Carl a little bit. I know he's disappointed, Carl, because he didn't really get going at any point. He got the better boxing ability. There's no doubt about that. Because Carl can box. There's no doubt about it. But he just didn't get going. Whether he said about the weight cut and things, but I don't know whether it was just some nights you have off nights. I'm not sure. But we said on the night, one mind seeing a full camp for both, because obviously Ash was a late step, and I think it might have been 2 weeks before the show. So yeah, like we said on the night, if we could, if both fighters could have a full camp, knowing that they're going to face each other, say an 8-week camp, then it might be a different story and a good fight to watch again, I think.
Yeah, I think Ash Williams, he's got such an unusual style. He's constantly switch hitting. He got a really wide stance. He throws his punches in from any sort of angle.
Yeah.
And he'd be an absolute nightmare for anyone to fight.
Yeah, because he comes from a kickboxing background. He's quite successful as a kickboxer as well. He's a good level kickboxer. He's fought pro MMA, so he's done a lot. And it was a much harder fight for Carl than he had originally scheduled. But Carl will fight anyone. He's not shy. And I think if he had a full camp with Ash, knowing what Ash brings and knowing the experience Ash has, it possibly raise his game a little. So yeah, I know he's disappointed, but again, like you say, Ash Williams come in, was completely unorthodox, really tough to get a handle on. Really, you couldn't really set anything up with him because he was so wild. But it worked for him. It did work, and he came away with a belt. So
yeah, at one point I thought he'd almost burned himself out a little bit, but he managed to have a second win then and come back even stronger then towards the end of the fight. To his credit.
Yeah, like I say, I think that comes back to he's pretty busy in terms of fights on a domestic scene. So I mean, in terms of engine, and I never really had an issue with thinking he might gas out because he's fought 5-minute rounds in MMA, and these are only 2-minute rounds in boxing. So I mean, he went full clip at it. Like you say, managed to get a second wind. and push him to the end. But it was a good performance for him. Like I say, boxing wise, technically not very good in terms of Ash. Very, very wild, but it worked in his favour against a better boxer.
And next up on the card was Cornelius Sabaluskas against Joe Smith, Gypsy Joe Smith, probably one of the fights of the night. Brilliant contest.
Start, yeah.
I mean, a few people said, I think, well, I thought, and I think you might disagree with me slightly, I think Smith won the first 3 rounds and Sabaluskas the last 2, but I think you had the middle round the other way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. Obviously, I haven't seen the fight back, but it all.
I think round 3 was the key. It was a split decision on the night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on balance on the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Which way you wanted that to go? Because Joe Smith won the first 2, come out really strong, and Sabaluskas did warm into the fight from the 3rd round on, especially 4th and 5th. Joe Smith was getting really tired. And Sabaluskas, I think he could have gone for days, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't look even as if he'd been in the fight. Sabaluskas, he looked so refreshed, hardly sweating even.
And after, and when the final bell went, he was more than confident that he had won the fight. So I thought it might be close, because like I say, I thought it was all on the 3rd. If I watch it back, I might well change my mind once it goes on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on the 3rd. I know Cornelius a little bit. He came down sparring James Lilley during his camp. So he's a nice guy, really nice guy. He's a decent boxer. He's massive for the weight. He's really long, really tall, and that was hard for Joe Smith to get past. The first 2 rounds, I think Sabaluskas was a bit taken back by the forward pressure of Smith, to be honest. He's a bit like a bull in a china shop, just charges at you, throwing haymakers. But once he sussed him out, once he worked him out, 3rd round, 4th and 5th, he really turned it on a bit more. But like you say, if I watch it back, I might well change my mind. But from what I can remember, it was all on the 3rd. Yeah, it was all on the 3rd. But it was a great scrap. It was a really good
fight. Brilliant fight. Yeah, massive credit to both fighters. And I think probably if when both the guys, Smith and Sabaluskas, both of them, when they watch it back, I think both of them will probably look at the fight and think they can improve if they were to have a rematch. They both think there's areas they can get better on.
Yeah, like I think the obvious one for Joe Smith will be fitness, because he was blowing. And it was evident as well that he was tired. So, I mean, there's no hiding it. And I think that gives Sabaluskas a bit of a boost going into the later round. But then Sabaluskas look at it and he could think, I give away those first 2 rounds and didn't really do a lot. I mean, he was a much bigger guy in terms of height and reach. And he was a southpaw, which is always difficult. He should have kept him on the end of the jab from the start, really. But took him a couple of rounds, and once he got into it, it turned into a really good fight. Really good fight in the end.
Yeah. What Sabaluskas done well, he looked really strong at it. He just seemed to slow to get going for some reason.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? It took too long to work Smith out, get comfortable with Smith. But when he did, he looked really good. Now, I watched him on BUDO 50. And I think you commentated, didn't we? Yeah, against Conor Davis.
Paddy Pavilion, was it?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. 4-ounce gloves. Yeah. So, Sabaluskas can have a fight, you know what I mean? He fights in 4-ounce gloves, 10-ounce gloves, it doesn't really matter. But, yeah, he was good. So, yeah, I enjoyed that fight. And I had a couple of people asking what was the fight like. So, yeah, I think that would be a hit on you too, to be honest, because he was entertaining.
Yeah. Just looking down the list here of the different contests. There's another big stoppage. Just think which one it was now. Was it Ahmed Jerbel? Is his name?
Yeah, he spanned the guy, didn't he, early on.
Really, really big knockout.
Yeah, that was
in the first round as well, I think.
That might be in the first 20 seconds or something.
Yeah, that was another early.
Yeah. Because looking at the guys, who was the guy who's fighting? Have we got his name?
Yeah, Jack Allen.
That's it, Jack Allen. No, You look at the shape, and I know it never goes on this, but you look at Jack Allen, and you look at Jabril, was it? Jabril?
Yeah, Jabril.
Now, Jack Allen looked like he was going to fill Jabril in. Let's be honest. He had the better shape, he had the better physique, everything. But Jabril come out there and just threw a couple of bombs, caught him flush, and he was out. He was out as he hit the floor. He wasn't very happy about the decision.
Yeah.
It was the right one. He was out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he was sleeping.
Yeah. Well, I think he went down, didn't he? But he sort of he was on his sort of back and totally defenseless when the referee jumped in.
Yeah, I think I said on the commentary as well. He fell and he was out, and I think when he hit the floor, he walked him back up. So he's tried getting up, but the ref, in all fairness to Chris Clark, the ref was already in and stopped the fight and stopped him taking any further damage.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think he did a good job overall on the night, Chris Clark.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
No
real. I think there was one of the contests. Which one was it now? Again, we'll have to watch it back on because we didn't have replays on the night, so we weren't able to watch anything back at all. But there's one of the fights where he stopped the action because he said an elbow was thrown, but we didn't see that.
Yes, I'm trying to think what fight that was now.
And there's so many contests on the night. There was just some of them sort of blur into each other.
Yeah, I didn't. I know what contest you're on about, and I didn't think it was an elbow either. I didn't see it because the guy was hurt.
Yeah.
The guy who he helped said received the elbow was hurt at the time. So yeah, like you say, that was probably the only contentious decision. But other than that, it was he done really well. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, but it'd actually be interesting to watch that back to see if it was an elbow landed, because of course he was in probably a better angle than us. So
it was right where we were though.
Yeah, it was right. I think it was we were on the referees on our sort of blind side.
Right.
Yeah, like we said, we were very close. So I mean, it'll be that's be interesting. Because I mean, the referee obviously thought it was an elbow.
Yeah, and like you say, he done well on the night. The ref.
Yeah.
All the decisions. He was in control of every fight. It was a good display from Chris, because I know in the past he's had a few people who aren't too happy with some of the decisions in the past, but no issues on Saturday. He was straight down the middle.
Yeah.
And as good as he could be.
Yeah. Another contest is a bit of a Taylor Williams against Ollie Wilde. I know you were very impressed with Wilde.
Yeah, he really impressed me in terms of wrestling. Just everything, just control, calmness. He comes from the Matt Academy with Lou Long, and everything. Like Taylor Williams couldn't really get anything going. Once Wilde got hold of him, it was all she wrote. He just done what he wanted to do until he was able to get the finish. Yeah, like I said on the night, really impressive. So good wrestling, good grappling, good control of his opponent, who was taller than him, was a slippery opponent, and he had come to win. He weren't there just to roll over. Williams had come to win, but Wilde just dominated from the start. It was excellent. Yeah, really. I'm looking forward to watching that one back as it happens. He was really good.
Because he had Lou Long in the corner and the rest.
Yeah, Lou Long, Wayne Sandwich. Yeah. Great. No, I mean, anyone comes from Lou Long and Wayne Sandwich, you know, is going to be well versed in everything, because Lou Long's got every black belt you could imagine.
And another not so good contest, no fault of the home fighter, Mickey Miller against Mackenzie.
Yeah, Mackenzie. Yeah,
just for people who didn't watch it, because obviously it's not available yet. Basically, it appeared Mackenzie was on top in the first round, and Miller just basically verbally quit to the referee. Yeah,
it was a bit of an anticlimax, to be honest, because Mackenzie is one of the hottest prospects in Europe. That was his pro debut. Obviously, he's had a massive camp. Spent 8 weeks, 10 weeks preparing for this fight. Now, everybody knows when you turn pro, you're not going to go in against killers straight away. Similar to boxing. Not in journeyman-wise, not quite as, I say bad, for lack of a better term, but not quite as bad as boxing when it comes to journeyman, where the ones in MMA do generally come to win. And there's so many ways you can win. You can lose. You wear the little gloves, pros are 4-ounce gloves, 5-minute rounds. So there's a lot more risk compared to fighting a boxing journeyman. Yayan come in there. Obviously, everyone expected him to win. Excited to see how he copes with the longer rounds and the smaller gloves, etc. Started off on the feet as expected. Just a couple of kicks here and there. Got the takedown, relatively easy. And unfortunately, Mickey Miller just quit. Just said, that's enough.
But he didn't even seem to make any excuse, did he? It wasn't the case that he was saying he was hurt or he didn't say anything. He just said, basically, I don't fancy us.
Yeah, and obviously that's no fault of the promoter. It's no fault of anybody. In fact, everybody was tamping with him, to be honest, because it's a professional fight at the end of the day, and he's getting paid to fight.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm guessing if that was professional boxing, I'm not sure what the rules are exactly with BUDO, and it's probably like slightly less regulation. But if that was professional boxing under the board of control, I'm fairly sure he wouldn't have been paid for that.
No, well, I wouldn't have paid. If I was my promotion, you wouldn't have had a penny out of me. No. And I would have told him why. You get him paid to fight. This guy is Mackenzie sold a lot of tickets. There's a lot of hype on him. I mean, all right, he's probably not going to win, Mickey Miller. He's probably not going to win. But you get him paid to give this kid a test to go at this kid and see what he's made of. Really test him. Even though it's his debut, I think Yayan Mackenzie was number 5 in Europe as an amateur. He's got a really good pedigree, Cage Warriors champion as an amateur. So, I mean, it's like a high class amateur boxer turning pro. You don't want to see him against journeyman. They could go in at British level, most of them, really high class amateurs, and that's the equivalent here. He is a high class amateur. And unfortunately, like you could see, obviously me and you spoke about it, you could see how upset he was about it, Mackenzie, because he wanted a test as well. It's not just, he don't want to go in there and someone to roll over. He wanted a test and he wanted to put his camp to good use. But look, these things happen. It's no fault of anybody who was there. But again, the positives you could take out of it is Mackenzie got to fight in front of 1,000 people, feel the nerves of his pro debut, get the walkout, get the introduction, just experience all those little things that will see him in good stead in his next contest.
And the main event on the night, Josh O'Connor.
Yeah, obviously
against Garmendia,
Bob Geldof.
Yeah. But I think you said that when Garmendia made his way to the ring, so it looks like Josh O'Connor's fighting his dad or something.
Yeah. As it happens, Josh O'Connor's father is an absolute animal. Mark O'Connor, he's like an original judo guy from Swansea. And he's like a shaved gorilla, pretty much, his old man. But, no, Garmendia, he was in good shape, in all fairness. Yeah. He just had a bit of grey in his hair. That's all I was getting at. He just looked like he was not on.
He looked like a surfer, didn't he? He looked like a surfer.
Yeah.
Just come straight off the beach, put his surfboard outside, put his shorts on and his gloves, and jumped in the cage.
And he actually come to fight. So
yeah,
I mean that's what Josh wanted. Now Josh is now 4-0. As you know, I'm quite close to Josh. I've trained him since before his first amateur fight. And I still do pad work with him now. So obviously I know exactly what Josh can offer and what's expected of him by his gym. The big things are expected of Josh. That's without trying to put pressure on him. He knows this. He's, like I say, he's a Cage Warriors champion as well, as an amateur. And he has all the ability and all the skills to really do something in pro MMA. I mean, make a career out of it and make a big splash. He's got all the skills you can need. Like I say, he comes from a judo background. If he grabs you, it's different. It's like he grabs you by the wrist, and it's like, what is this? It's like this isn't a normal grip off a normal human being. And those judo guys, they do have that strength. They've done judo since they were young. It's a different kind of strength completely. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got good hands. He kicks like a horse. Like we've seen him finish one guy on BUDO 50 with leg kicks. You do not want to be kicked in the leg by Josh O'Connell. That's a fact. But yeah, it's like I say, another one. He's expected. He's early on in his career. He was expected to win, and he was really dominant. It was an unfortunate finish to the fight with Garamendia. I think he dislocated. Yeah, he dislocated his shoulder by the look of it due to the takedown and the pressure from Josh. But like I say, these things happen in MMA. Josh was totally dominating the fight. Garamendia was in deep water, and I think it was only a matter of time before Josh was able to finish it on his own accord anyway. So, yeah, impressive by Josh again. I think Josh would like more time in the cage. As a pro, the most he had in the cage was on the PFL, Professional Fighters League. Yeah, he won his third on submission in that. So, I mean, he had a good 12 minutes in the cage. But his last two were finished within 2 minutes of the fight. So, yeah, he could do with getting some more time in the cage, but that comes as he steps up, I suppose, with a harder. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Garamendia, he come to fight, but Josh has had harder amateur fights and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he just did look like a different league, really, didn't it? It was,
yes, yeah. And Josh is to most. No, I mean, most at his level at the moment. Josh is in a different league.
I
just people don't know about it.
I suppose like in pro boxing that it's difficult to get good opponents for guys like Josh, just simply because good opponents want good money, and it's it's just simple economics, really, quite often.
Yeah, it's big risk and zero reward if you're fighting Josh O'Connor. The only thing you are pretty much guaranteed is to have sore legs and a sore head in the morning. So yeah, it's not the job we're really looking for. But as we said about Mickey Miller, if you're getting paid to come to fight, no matter who's in front of you, you've got to fight. Yeah. So yeah, one I do want to mention is Johan Harris. Johan Harris, obviously from the same gym as Josh.
Yeah.
Again, comes from a judo background. He is special. No other way to say it. He's just won the IMAF European Gold. I think he stopped every opponent he had. I think it was 5 fights in 5 days. Won the gold, and the guy in the final was knocking everyone out. I think he was a Belgian fighter. He was beating everyone. And Johan went in there and put him to sleep. Johan did. With a Von Flue choke. I think it was a Von Flue. Put him sleeping. Won the gold. Massive things expected of Johan. He was 11-1 as an amateur. 11-1 as an amateur. Again, Cage Warriors champion as an amateur. Big things expected of him, and he didn't disappoint, to be honest. He fought Maurice. Am I right in thinking he fought Maurice?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, he fought Maurice. Again, Maurice, I think he's 4-13. My memory's on fire tonight. I ain't got nothing written down. I'm just all up there. Maurice was 4-13. But again, we seen him on BUDO 50 against Jason Jenkins. And he almost had Jason Jenkins in trouble on BUDO 50. So, again, I knew he was a relatively live opponent for Johan. And in the past, Johan has had a bit of nerves. I've been in his corner in amateur fights and things. And he's had a little bit of nerves. But he dealt with it like an absolute boss. He is absolutely huge for the weight. I think he weighed in at 72 kilo. And he's 6'3", I think. And he's got a back the size of the front of my house. It's huge. He can be special. He can be special if he carries on the way he's going, because he's got it up here as well. He's a very, very intelligent guy. He was doing something like financial mathematics in university. He's very clever, so he's cerebral as well, and he just took Maurice down. He pieced him up a little bit with the kicks first. Fancied it on his feet because, like I said on the night, 2-4 MA in Swansea are a grappling heavy club. Really grappling heavy, but I mean that doesn't mean they're no good on the feet. So he was piecing him up with the leg kicks and throwing a few jabs, and he timed the takedown beautifully. And then once Johan gets you on the floor, it's kind of all she wrote then. And with it being his pro debut as well, big things, like I said, the difference between an amateur and a pro, you can use elbows. So Johan put that to good use and elbowed the absolute spine out of him. And that was that, pretty much. You know what I mean?
I think I'm right to say you were pretty chuffed as well to commentate in his first pro fight.
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. Because, like I say, I do believe, and quote me on this, in years to come when he is in the UFC, he's same as Josh. Him and Josh have all the ability in the world and the dedication. That's the most important thing, is the dedication. They've got it all to make it to the UFC, without a shadow of a doubt. I have no doubt in that at all. They can 100% make it to the UFC. Because like Josh, he quit his job, took a part-time course in uni so he could train full-time. Now he had a full-time job. He was 21, 22 at the time. Quit his job to be a fighter. Johan has finished university, graduated with a degree, and now is a full-time fighter. These guys, and they're young. They very early 20s. These guys have everything it takes. Like, you can have all the talent in the world. If you're not dedicated and disciplined, it's pointless.
Yeah, that's quite often the difference, isn't it, really? It's the guys who are willing to, I know it's a cliche, but make the sacrifices, the guys who achieve the big things.
It is, yeah. And like, Johan lives in my state, but he drives all the way to Swansea every day to train. I mean, these little things that make you think, yeah, this guy can do it, because he physically he's it's going to be hard to match him. He's a freak, but it's those other little things that make me think, yeah, these guys can definitely make it, definitely, without a shadow.
So just moving on from BUDO 55, is there any just so the fans will know, is there any plans for any future BUDOs, or when are the dates for possible future BUDOs, or is that too soon yet?
No, there's no date penciled in yet, but Dino's looking at probably June or July. It's normally a summer BUDO, so it'll be June or July. I'm thinking. I would like to think Josh will be on it again. Johan possibly, unless they get signed up by the larger organisations, which is a possibility. Like, Josh has already fought in the PFL, which is 4th or 5th biggest in the world. So he's already fought on that. I know there are a few looking at Johan, big ones. I know there's some in Italy, possibly. Some out in Asia, without saying too much. But yeah, because he won the European gold, obviously there's a star above his name, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they know he's a talent. It's a great platform. The IMAF Championship's a great platform where if you do well, you pop your head up and make people take notice. And again, people have obviously taken notice of Johan, and Josh. Josh is well known as well. So Josh is 4-0, Johan's 1-0. If they're not signed up to a major organisation by the time the summer comes around, then I fully expect them to be on BUDO again and hopefully call another pro fight and a career. Because, like I say, when they make it, it'll be me and you on the early days on these BT Sports documentaries and stuff. It'll be us screaming down the microphone.
So just change the subject. You've been back over a week or so now. What's your reflections on New Orleans?
I haven't got over it yet. Where's Lilley now? Come on, where's Lilley now? Yeah, he's on mouthing now, is he? No, it was a trip of a lifetime, mate. Trip of a lifetime. There's no other way to describe it. I've never laughed so much in my life. For 5 days, we just laughed non-stop, tears, everything. It was hysterical. I think we only stopped laughing for an hour before Lilley's fight, just to get a little bit serious, seeing as he was having a fight.
Yeah, well, at one point before the fight, I was trying to film Lilley looking a bit serious, and I just couldn't, because I just couldn't get him looking serious for long enough.
everyone in the changing room were really serious with us. Like, obviously, we didn't know any of them. They were all really serious and looking, contemplating what's going to happen, and we just cracking jokes and taking a piss out of each other and all this. And they were looking at us like, what are these guys doing? Like, this guy's number one in the world. What is he doing?
And
But
I think
that's just
Lilley
the
is
way we
probably
are.
physically the smallest guy in the change room as well, wasn't he? Looking back
Oh
at
yeah,
it,
but yeah,
I think it was all big
easily.
guys in the change room apart from Lilley, who was your welterweight.
Yeah. And but that's just the way we are. We make light as much as we can until we need to get serious. Otherwise, those 5 days would be a long, long time if no one's having a laugh, everyone's serious, and you're just thinking about Lily getting punched in the face for 5 days. You have to break it up. You have to have a laugh, and I think Lily's managed to put a team together where we all get on. We all mingle outside of fight camps and training. We're all mates anyway. But again, he hasn't just gone, you're my mate, let's go on a jolly. As hopefully as you would have seen when he was filming it, that we do actually know what we're talking about to a certain extent. We know what we're doing, and we come up with game plans, and we do it right. Even though we have a laugh and a joke, and like you say, Anya, Lily's commenting, calling me a bald fucker and all this. That's just the way we are. I mean, as soon as he comes back in the gym, I'll be calling him fat. That's just what we do. But when it comes to it, I mean, we are serious. We know what we're doing, and I think the proof is in the pudding. Because if you look at the difference between his first bare knuckle fight, some 5 years ago, I think it was, to now, he's a different fighter completely. Completely, and you're my witness. I tell people, because I still can't get my head around it, that how highly he's thought of in America.
Oh, so it's unbelievable in America. The reception he was getting, like he was like a celebrity, wasn't he? People.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't
I was
get my
watching
head
back
around
on
it.
my camera, some of the stuff I filmed, like when he's walking. I think it was you two walking. I was slightly behind you, and literally must have been stopped about a dozen times for pictures and autographs and all the rest of it.
I still can't get my head around it, to be honest, because it's just Lily. I mean, he's just one of the boys. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, he can have a scrap, but he's just one of the boys. But over there, like I was telling someone today, they couldn't believe it that he had a full-time job. They thought he was just a fighter.
Yeah.
They couldn't get their head around he had a full-time job, and this was like a side gig for him because he's that good at the moment. They couldn't quite, like, well, you've got a full-time job, a family, and you train twice a day around all of that as well. So, yeah, it was, like I say, it was a trip of a lifetime. But when it needs to get serious, then we can get serious and get what needs to be done. I'm gonna say it.
Go on. And I think
go on.
Go on. Say what you're gonna say. I know you're gonna say it.
You know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say it now because I called it, and I'm the only one that called exactly how that fight was gonna go. The only one. Now, let's not forget, Bobby Taylor's never been stopped. Never been stopped. He's lost once. Once, that's all. And I was on points. Never been stopped. And from weeks and weeks ago, I called exactly how it was going to go. I said, you will stop him on cuts. Fact. And I didn't realise till about an hour afterwards. I go, I called it.
Yeah.
I called it.
And I've checked, and I've got it on camera as well.
Come on. Yes. See, I know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, I won't be putting that in the film.
Just send it to me.
No, I think you said it when you were
analysing it.
Yes, when you Josh and James were in the downstairs in the warehouse.
Yeah. I just James's jab is a weapon. It's a fact, and people know it is. It's not. There's no secret. It's a weapon.
He was another. I mean, I know you were in the change room, so I don't think you watched any of the undercard fights from ringside or anything.
Oh, we watched a few. We had the laptop in the change room, so we watched a few.
But by far, James was probably, including the main event, he's probably the best fighter on the card in terms of technical skill.
Boxing wise, and that's what I meant to say just now before I got sidetracked, is the amount of people in the know, like the BKFC commentators or backroom staff, producers, all this, press people from the BKFC, they was actually saying that he's the best boxer in the whole organisation. And you were there to witness it. I mean, Chris Lytle was saying he's the best boxer in the whole organisation. What's his name? Who was driving us? Hank was saying,
the detective, is it?
yeah, Detective Mike, but he looks like Hank off Breaking Bad. So, he was saying best boxer in the whole organisation, and that's some accolade because there's some serious operators in BKFC, and for them to say that, and to be honest, I watched the fight back once. I watch it back a couple more times. I will, but that weren't the best, Lilley. That weren't his best performance. He didn't stick to the exact game plan we had. He held his feet a few times, got drawn into a little bit of a war, got caught unnecessarily, but listen, that's just nitpicking. He stopped a guy who'd never been stopped. He's beat 3 people in the top 5. There's only one more fight to go, and that's for the belt. And what I am surprised at is normally if somebody calls you out on national TV or worldwide TV, you tend to respond, whether it be positive or negative. But the champ has been silent. Nothing. I looked on his Instagram today. He's just talking about Chad Mendes. There's been no talk, no response to Lilley. Even though he's number 1 in the world, you'd think the champ would respond either way. So I don't know whether that's a sign that he doesn't really fancy it. No, I say he doesn't fancy it. No, that's wrong. Because, in all fairness, the champ's the double champ. He's going to fight. But whether he thinks that's the most difficult fight out there for him.
Yeah.
But Chad Mendes is a bit of a brawler. So, I mean, there's not going to be no jabs coming his way. He's going to be winging hooks left, right, and centre. But yeah, Lilley's a difficult fight for anyone. He proved that in the Tyler Goodjohn. And again, like, don't get me wrong, Bobby Taylor's no Tyler Goodjohn in terms of boxing. Tyler's a good boxer, a very good boxer. But Bobby Taylor carries a lot of power. Tough, durable, never been stopped, like I said. And
sorry to interrupt you there, Jim. One moment, which I don't think, I'm guessing I don't think the camera crews, the BKFC camera crews caught the moment.
I know what you're going to say.
Was when Rem as well, James's managers just joined the. Let me give him a wave here. The moment where you won't watch, if you watched it on TV, you won't have seen this, but when the fight was stopped and all the chants were going up USA, USA, it was this point. Di and Rem and Josh started shouting back at the crowd.
Yeah,
the old WWF or WWE belt thing. Where's the belt?
Probably not the wisest choice. Considering we were in New Orleans, surrounded by about 4,000 like hillbillies, and they were giving it to us. Don't get me wrong; they were booing and everything. And I turned around and Remy had the Welsh flag. Fucking telling them to fuck off. Come on. So me and Josh just joined in. We were flicking them off. And because we could see, because we were close, I could see people's faces. They weren't far away, the crowd. So I could see all Bobby Taylor t-shirts. There was loads of them in the crowd.
Yeah, there was a lot. I was speaking to some of the Bobby Taylor fans before the fight.
Yeah, and I could see big sections of Bobby Taylor fans going crazy. So me and Josh just started flicking them off and, come on. I was going, get the belt, and all this. And he was going nuts. I turned to Josh like, we're going to have to go out the back door here because we're going to get lynched. But it was all in good spirits. You know what I mean? It was, we just got a bit excited. It's more relief than anything.
But I was sitting ringside for the fight, and then as soon as the fight was over, I wanted to try and get away. I wanted to try and get like a shot of you guys in the ring and all the crowd. And as I was moving away, I could just see this happening. So I just managed to get my camera up to capture a few seconds of it. It's not the best quality footage, but it's going in the film anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it was a spur of the, nothing. Obviously, it wasn't planned. Spur of the moment thing, but it just added to the whole experience. Another thing we were laughing about afterwards. Like I said, for 5 days we didn't stop laughing. It was just a trip of a lifetime. Genuinely, New Orleans is an absolute crazy place, but it was. It was one of them. Like, I'm never going to go to New Orleans. It's not a tourist destination, so to speak. When you think of America, you tend to think of Florida and places, LA and Las Vegas. But yeah, it was an experience. It was a good one. It was really good. And everyone's like you say, you stayed a bit later than us, and you were saying how nice everyone
Yeah.
is, and
I
and
never
and
could
we
have
were.
converted it probably, but at least a dozen fans to the James Lilley cause. Because everyone was just asking me what was out doing, and I have to explain to every single person then. And what I was doing in the end, I was just showing them the video of James having a bare knuckle fight was easier than trying to
Oh, was you?
explain what bare knuckle boxing. So everyone was like, bare knuckle boxing? He's like, yeah, bare knuckle boxing. I have to explain to them. So I was just showing them the videos easier. The video that, I'm not sure who made the video for James, but there was a video of him on one of his fights.
Yeah, it was. They were all nice people,
Oh,
really.
yeah, brilliant. Yeah, great.
In the
Great.
bars, in the shops, they were all relatively pleasant. So it was a like I say, triple lifetime great experience, and one I'm not gonna forget. And I mean, 3 foot sandwiches, alligator sausage. It was bonkers. It was bonkers, but it was brilliant. And hopefully there'll be more to come. We'll get, I mean, a few more trips because I remember it was, what are we, 23? So I'd say probably 2018, 2019. Lily was talking about MMA fights, just trying to get ones in Spain, or he said, I just want to fight abroad, have a bit of experience and stuff. And we could never have imagined
Hmm.
4 years down the line,
Yeah.
he's a superstar of bare knuckle in America, and we're in New Orleans for a fight. It was, yeah, it's just, it haven't sunk in, to be honest. And I'm there like, what am I doing in New Orleans? How did I get in this position?
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. And like you say, hopefully there's a few more trips, like a nice Florida trip would be nice. California would be lovely.
Yeah.
But I am going to text him. If they put a BKFC in Philadelphia, take a fight, because I want to see the Rocky Steps.
run up the Rocky Steps, did I?
Yes, if I can make it.
Right. Okay, then, mate. It's be good to chat to you
Good.
about the BUDO and have a little look back on the New Orleans trip. And well, this was meant to go on Facebook, where I think we got probably have more followers, but we ended up on
No,
Instagram
but
because
it'll stay on Instagram as far as I'm aware now, so people can watch it again. Eh?
there we are. All right, then, mate.
Yeah.
Well,
Cheers, Pete.
yeah, good to chat to you, and I'll see you soon.
Nice one. Ta-ra, mate.
All the best. Ciao, mate.
Ta-ra.